So in this video, I want to talk about what our worst habit is as a modern human being and why that habit is the exact opposite of mindfulness and meditation. So our most obsessive habit as a modern human is confabulating, telling stories, making up explanations, and believing every bit of it. So let's look at the research real quickly. So one, we've got the split brain patients. These individuals, again, left and right sides of the brain are split. The left brain would tell endless stories that were totally inaccurate. Look at the work of V.S. Ramachandran, a very well-known neuroscientist who studies people with right brain damage. And he looks at the right brain as he calls it the devil's advocate, because the storytelling left brain has to have something that keeps it in check. And that's what that devil's advocate right brain does. If these stories get too out of hand, the right brain jumps in and kind of reality checks it. Well, patients with right brain damage, that devil's advocate's taken offline, and the left brain would tell even more outrageous stories, but the person still believed them. So in one case, a patient's left hand was paralyzed completely, but yet they told a story where if they wanted to, they could have lifted a table up with their left hand right over their head, which of course is completely not true. And this is also the case for us normals. What I mean is someone without explicit brain damage. Normals were given a task where you had to pick one of three objects. This is Nesbitt and Wilson, a very famous study. They made sure all the objects were pretty much the same. Everyone has a right word preference. Very few of us know this, but you would just like something on the right, all other things being equal. And advertisers take advantage of this and they put their product on the right. But that's because so few people are aware of it. Just like these subjects, they were unaware of it. And that's the real reason. But that's not what they said when they were asked. When they were asked, why did you like this object the most? They would say, well, I like the color, I like the texture. Total confabulation. But they believed every bit of it. And even when the experimenters told them about this, they still continued to believe their storytelling. So we have a case where, again, we are obsessed with confabulating stories about reality. But here's the point, and this is why it's, in some ways, you could think of it as the opposite of mindfulness, the opposite of meditation. And if you're just getting into mindfulness and meditation, you might even be wondering, well, what is that to begin with? Is it breathing? Is it doing some kind of yoga exercise? And really, none of that is the critical part of what meditation and mindfulness is about. Mindfulness and meditation is about moving away from the storytelling part of our left brain and embracing reality as it actually is right now. So the way you can begin with this is you're going to tell stories, which is to say the left side of your brain is going to continue to tell stories, but the major shift comes when you transform, have the insight that you are not the one telling the story, you are the one listening to the story. That is critical to this shift. That is actually what meditation and mindfulness, that's most of what mindfulness and meditation actually are. Instead of thinking you're the storytelling left brain, the voice in the head, the one telling all these stories and believing every bit of them, you shift to being the observer, the listener. And when you do that, you recognize that's not who you are at all. That's just some kind of program in my left brain that's doing some ancient survival strategy. That, at least the way I view it, is the essence of mindfulness and meditation. And the more you become the observer, the less interested you are in these stories. And the more you embrace actual reality rather than telling a story about it.